Hey everyone, if your Power BI reports feel sluggish or worse, your numbers just don't add up, the problem isn't with your visuals, it's with what's happening underneath your data model. I am Rishabh, and today, in part 5 of our Power BI beginner series, I'm going to show you how to build a rock solid data model that's fast, accurate, and actually makes sense. Let's dive in. So, what exactly is data modeling? Think of it like organizing your closet. Instead of throwing everything in one big pile, you create separate sections. Shirts here, pants there, shoes over there, and then you organize them so that you can actually find what you need. In Power BI, data modeling means structuring your tables and creating relationships between them so that your reports can filter, group, and calculate data efficiently. We have two main types of tables. Dimension tables that handle your filtering and grouping, like customers, products, dates, and fact tables that contain your measurable data, like sales, amount, quantities, revenues, etc. Get this right, and you'll have faster reports, accurate calculations, and much simpler DAX formulas. Get it wrong, and well, you'll be pulling your hair out wondering why nothing works. The secret to great Power BI modeling is something called a star schema. Picture this, you have one central fact table in the middle. Let's call it our sales table. And it's connected to separate dimension tables radiating out like points of a star. Here's why this matters. Each connection is a one to many relationship. One customer can have many sales. One product can appear in many sales. One date can have many sales. This creates clear, unambiguous filter paths. Alright, let's build this together. Alright, let's begin with our Excel data first. So we have the sales data over here. We have transaction ID, we have sales date, we have quantity, we have the payment mode, we have the product ID and the customer ID. So it's not crammed up into one table, right? We have this is our fact table, and then we have our dimension tables like product, which gives the details of various product. For example, if I product, this is number 21. So if I go to P021, it says Redmi Note 12, which is a mobile from Xiaomi, and the price is so and so. So the sales is going to be our fact table, and all the others like the customer we see is number 13, Divya Singh, and her city is Hyderabad. So all the other details are there in our dimension tables, and we are going to pick data from here using relationships. So we see that customers get a payment discount if the payment mode is credit card 10% and so and so. And we also have a city discount. So if a customer is from Kolkata, that person gets 10%, from Chennai that person gets 1%. So all we need to do is calculate the net sales amount in this particular data set that we are working on. All right. So the sales table is our fact table and others are dimension table. Let's go to Power BI and let's rock this data. Okay, so we open a blank report and then we'll click on get data, Excel workbook, we'll navigate this electronics data. It'll take a couple of seconds and we'll be here. Now we want to load all the tabs. So I'll just check all and click on load. Right. Now we'll go to Power Query by clicking on transform data and we'll see that the read-only version of our Excel is here. So we have all the tabs, that is the city discount, the customers, the payment discount, products, sales, etc. Okay, now we just check and clean this data a little bit. Like the percentage was in decimal, so we change it into percentage. Now, this is something that is very crucial for you to follow. Please make sure that you clean the data before you start working on it. Now, price, we can change it to fixed decimal number, right? Replace current. And sales also, we can look at, okay, change it to, okay, I think we're good to go. Okay, now we'll create a blank. Okay, we need to create a date table as well. So remember that. It's always a good practice. Yes, we'll change the format of the date. So first we'll see that what's the starting and end date. So our starting date is 1st of January 2023 and the last date is 31st of December 2024. So we'll just click on new query, blank query. All right, and then we'll just put this M language formula and we'll just change the date. You can pause the screen and take a note. So we'll put the date from 1st January 2023 to 31st December 2024. Here we'll have a list. Now we'll convert this to table and yes and okay. So we have a table. Now we'll change the format. So we have our dates. So we have our dates. We'll just rename it. We have our dates from 1st January 2023 to 31st. Okay. I think by mistake I have written it as to 2013. So we'll just go ahead and change the steps. Right. This is the best part about Power Query, that you don't have to click on undo. You can just check the steps and then correct them. Right. So now we have from 1st January 2023 to 31st December 2024. And this will also be our dimension table. It's not a fact table. The only fact table here is sales. We'll just change it. And now we'll organize again. We need to organize our fact tables and dimension tables. So we'll just create a group, put all the dimension tables in the dimension table. We'll create a fact group and then we'll put the sales table on the fact table. Okay, now we're good to go. So we'll click on close and apply. It'll again take a couple of seconds to process. Right, now we go to the model view and we see that Power BI has already established certain relationships by its own, but we're not going to consider that. We're going to delete everything. Okay, but so let me tell you about this star schema. So you place the fact table in your center, that is your sales table, and then other dimension tables on the sides. So we organize it first. Okay, now I'm going to delete the relationships that Power BI is automatically established because we are going to establish this one by one.